I know every month I'm like, this might be some of the most beautiful books that I've ever received, but you guys aren't going to believe this. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another book haul, this time for July of 2025. Some lovely, lovely things did make their way through the home library this month. We're going to take a look at each and every one of them, and I get to say thank you to those who were kind enough to send me something. But before we begin with that, guys, we always got to do what do I always tell you about what? That's right, digital does count. It was really hot. I was trying to be careful there. It doesn't usually take that long for me to take a sip, but it was really, really hot. Anyhow, digital purchases, guys. I am still reading off the Kindle. I've been telling you for the last 4 or 5 months about the Kobo. We'll get there. We'll get there. Trust me. I got to talk about Conqueror's Blood, Elder Epoch, and Dark Drinker by ℚ𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤, guys. The Gunmetal Gods was my book of the month, so obviously I was very, very excited to get more of those. I did get everything that has released so far. I think there's a novella, honestly. I think a prequel or something somebody was telling me is actually out there. So I haven't got that yet, but books 2, 3, and 4 are released. So I went ahead and picked those up on digital because I loved Gunmetal Gods, and I'm very, very curious to see where he goes with the series going forward. I also picked up a sci-fi book. Now, this is going to be one that seems a little off the registration because I had not really heard of this author until rather recently. This is by Elizabeth Moon. It's book 1 in something called Vada's War. This is Trading in Danger. I was kind of looking for something not quite military fantasy, but more of like something like The Expanse. I'm kind of looking for that Expanse replacement. Now, I'm not saying it needs to be as good as The Expanse because I think even the worst Expanse book was really, really good. But with this series right here, it seems like it's something where it sets up to look like it's going to be military fantasy. Then it's just about that group of misfits in a spaceship roaring around the galaxy and taking care of business. That's a very easy selling point to me when it comes to science fiction. And that's one that is on the short list for a new series I want to start next year because I am looking, like I said, for a new sci-fi series. And I know that a lot of people are like, well, read Alistair Reynolds, read Peter Hamilton. I still kind of want some short ones before I get back into those big old chonkers. And that's the one that kind of keeps coming up a lot. So that's not in stone, obviously, but that's why I said I want to go ahead and pick up book 1 and say, hey, if I want to start this next year, at least I have it readily available. But the series, again, I haven't heard a ton about. I don't even know how I found out about it. It just kind of came out of nowhere. And I think I just might ask people, hey, some series, after you finish The Expanse, maybe this is one that got recommended to me. So if you were the one who recommended it to me, awesome. Thank you so much. Lastly, an author I had never really heard of, but I've heard about a lot, is David Dalglish. I hope I'm saying that right. And this is The Radiant King. I forget who I was talking to. I think it might have been Kyle. I was on the channel for Josh's channel, Red Fury Books, and we were having a conversation. I believe that Dalglish did come up in this book in particular. So I went ahead and said, why not? I love to help out some young up-and-coming authors, and if me buying your book on digital does help, hey, I'm glad to do it. But I don't know really very much about this series, except that it comes highly recommended by fellow booktubers. That's kind of all I'm looking at for digital, guys. I do have a couple of physical purchases I want to talk about. I read The Giver last year for the first time, and everyone's like, what's up, bro? Didn't you go to junior high? Why didn't you read the Giver in junior high? Well, I'm probably older than you guys. The Giver came out while I was in high school. So we didn't read The Giver in junior high while I was there. We were still doing The Hobbit. We were still doing Watership Down. That's the stuff that we were still doing. We were still doing Where the Red Fern Grows, and I still haven't forgiven them for that, by the way. I'm still scarred. It still hurts. Anyhow, that's why I didn't read The Giver until last year. So I liked it enough, guys. I went ahead and picked up this collection of all the books, all the books in the collection here by Lois Lowry. The only one I've heard of outside of The Giver is Gathering Blue. So I don't know about the other ones. I've heard mixed things on the sequel books. It's one of those where I was kind of like, do I want to be like I was with the Ender's Game for a long time, where I didn't read any of the sequels because I wanted to kind of let it resonate as like, I didn't want it to kind of bring it down. And, if the sequels are all low quality, do I want to really bring it down? The legacy of that first book. And this one, a beautiful collection. Who is the publisher on this? Clarion Books. Yes, The Giver, Gathering Blue, Messenger, and Son. So if you guys have any feedback on that, let me know. But this is a rather stunning edition, and I was rather surprised to find this on Amazon during their Prime sale for like $12. And I said, I will pay that every time for a nice collection like this. And again, I look forward to some just kind of feedback on this. Let me know, guys, if you think that The Giver sequels are worth it. because for that price, I went ahead and took the plunge. Now, this one isn't exactly a book, but it's based on books. So I want to talk about another thing that they had on Amazon. I think it's on closeout. This is the Hunger Games series on Steelbook 4K. This is a rather stunning collection, and they had it for dirt cheap, guys. It was like, wow, how did this happen? Because I saw this on Amazon at one point for $150, guys, kind of for $34. And I was like, I can't say no to that. I like the Hunger Games movies enough that I would go ahead and pick this up. And you've just got to see this, guys, because it's just rather incredible how beautiful these are, regardless of how you feel about the movies. These are just simply stunning steelbooks. And on the back, it has the map of all the districts. I don't know if it's really coming through in there, but these are just incredible, guys. I mean, the artwork on these is just stunning. This is my favorite one. Look at this. Wow. The girl on fire, right? This kind of looks like the cover of that movie Mother that she was in. That's what it kind of looks like. But, again, I enjoy the Hunger Games books. I enjoy the Hunger Games movies. And I said, yeah, you know what? I don't have those on Blu-ray or 4K. Hey, I think that's worth going ahead and pick up for that cost, because good steelbooks are hard to find at a reasonable price. And when you see some that look this beautiful for that cost, less than $10 a pop, I mean, these were absolutely worth the purchase. So, guys, you just got to watch out on Prime Day. Some crazy, crazy stuff can happen. Some crazy deals out there. But let's go ahead and take a look at some books from some authors. Now, as always, guys, I may not be familiar with all these books. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link down below, and I encourage you to check them out for yourself if they do sound interesting. And I hope that you will. So this is The Legend of by Aaron Hall. Aaron N. Hall. I hope it's not supposed to be like UH, like University of Houston. This is 2 by Peter Blaisdell. This is The God's Magician and The Lord of the Summer Season. Thank you very, very much. Cool. This is going to be The Last Light of Edgewood by Luke Boswell. And I am familiar with this one. This is from Michael R. Miller. This is book 4 in Songs of Chaos, coming out this September. This is Reckoning. And Michael is now 4 for 4, 5 for 5 if you count the novella. And when it comes to cover art, his cover art is just phenomenal. If you like Dragon Rider fantasy, I've read book 1. Really liked it a lot. Thought it was much different than a lot of other Dragon Rider fantasy. It is YA content, but it's very, very good. Don't let that chase you off. Like I talked about recently, I was talking about Neil Schusterman. YA isn't the bad word that a lot of people think that it is. Sometimes it just means, hey, I like some good Dragon Rider fantasy, and I like some well-written characters, and maybe I don't need like 8 hours of world building when it comes to my stories. So I think you would like the Songs of Chaos series quite a bit. Got a couple of mystery boxes, question mark. I know what both of them are, but we're going to go ahead and say that I didn't open them just for you guys. This is from Jonathan Sugar. Hope I'm saying that right. It says Afterlight up on the front, but I think that the series, they know light best, who first know the dark. All right, got a letter. I'll read that after the fact. But the book is called In Darkest Cast, Shades of Black, Book 1. So thank you very, very much, Jonathan. Appreciate it. I'm sorry I butchered your name, because I'm like that. You guys might be familiar with this one. I'm wearing the shirt that came with it right now, so obviously I've already read this. Probably one of the most anticipated books within the fantasy booktube community for this fall. Guys, this is Strength of the Few, Book 2 of Will the Many by James Islington. And yes, I am very excited to do this. Will the Many is one of those where people, I kind of got the reputation as that I didn't like it just because I said it wasn't the best book that I've read in a decade. I really did like the book, obviously. I talked to James on the channel right afterwards. I had a pretty positive, in fact, he actually messaged me to thank me for giving him a positive review of the book. But this is Strength of the Few, in case you guys are wondering, 710 pages. So it is leaning more towards the Lycania style. Will the Many, I was like, wow, I didn't think that James could write a book under 800 pages. And he's like, well, check this out. So I am excited for it. I don't know when I'll actually get it on the schedule, but I want to do it somewhat before release, because there's like 4 books coming out within 2 weeks in November that are all 700 plus pages. So I am very, very thankful that I did get this one a little bit early. So thank you to James. Thank you to Saga Press for sending this over. I do appreciate it. Shirt's a little big, but that's okay. I like my shirts to be, too big than too small. I always say that's a good problem to have, right? But let's go ahead and take a look at some things from some publishers. First up, we've got The Vampire Metropolis. This is by Robin Brown. Never a bad time for a vampire book, especially with spooky season right around the corner. The Sky That Didn't Load Today. The Sky Didn't Load Today. This is by Rich Larson, or if that's some kind of Matrix-y kind of deal here. This guy didn't load today and other glitches. Maybe we're just living in a program, a simulation of some sort. Hope I'm saying this right. Sue Sokol. This is Invisible Line. And this is a beautiful cover. The villains are destined to die. Guan, sorry. But check out that cover. Really cool artwork there. Very cool. I love that idea. And this is The First Casualty by Kwame Skinner. Okay. Lovely stuff. Thank you, guys. I got a big old stack this month, guys, from my pals over at The Broken Binding, who, like Carly Simon once said, nobody does it better, and they continue to prove that with some of these. First, a series I've never read, but this is the kind of cover, like Broken Binding usually does, it makes me want to read. This is Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. I don't know if they're doing like an entire series, if this is a standalone. I think it's a trilogy. I'm not even sure. But again, guys, when I do my unboxings, I do all my unboxings over on Instagram and now TikTok. If you guys want to see unboxings and see these things in further detail, there's plenty more to see inside. But I don't want this video to be 40 minutes showing those again. But if you guys want to see everything, there's much more than just what the covers are on a Broken Binding release. So check that out. I've got the link down in the description. You want to subscribe on Instagram or TikTok. Hey, I'd love to have you, but I understand if you've got too many social medias already. How do you make one of the best books I've ever read and one of the best special editions I've ever had even better? Well, you give it the Broken Binding treatment, and this is Shogun, guys. This is impressive. I read this last year. It was my book of the year. I absolutely loved it. I ate it up, and this edition is just the very definition of sexy. I mean, how incredible is this? And I've got that Blackstone Publishing one that's just absolutely beautiful, and I'm not getting rid of either one of them. You know what? Two are better than one. I don't care about shelf space. Shelf space be damned. I will move something off the shelf to get both editions of Shogun up here. Incredible work, guys. This is just, take a bow. This is amazing. How do you top one of my favorite books of all time? How about maybe one of my top 10 books of all time? And that is Hyperion. Yes, this edition came with the original art. Now, look, this is one of my favorite book covers ever. But the cover that they sent it with is actually really nice. I'm going to show you because I just put it right over the top of it. They sent the original cover, but this is the new artwork that they did for it, which is awesome. You know, it's just awesome. They don't do anything wrong, I don't think, at the Broken Binding. But guys, Hyperion, if you haven't read it yet, one of the greatest science fiction books I've ever read. Besides Dune, it's probably my favorite. Dune, Ender's Game, and Hyperion. It's like after Dune, it's like a battle royale there. You know, who is the best science fiction book? You can't go wrong with this one, and you can't go wrong with any of the covers that they did give. Man, wow. Just amazing. Just amazing. How do you top this? How do you top this, guys? You do a series I haven't finished yet, but I did announce recently it's going to be a series next year that I am going to be focusing on, and I won't lie to you. A big reason is because these covers are absolutely amazing. Every month I say, these might be the best thing they've ever done. This is another one. I just don't know how you could do this any better. These are absolutely stunning. Are these the most incredible editions you've ever seen? And I mean, I don't even care if you like the Aragon Inheritance Cycle series at all. These are just magnificent. I mean, look at this. Wow. These came with the original covers too, but I was like, no, bro. These are just something really, truly special. Jeff Brown really just outdid himself with this. I can't believe how stunning these are. Yeah, I've got a lot of pictures of them on the Instagram if you want to check it out. Didn't do an unboxing for this one because it was like 9 minutes and I had to change covers, so I just decided I would just do pictures of this one instead. But yeah, guys, this, wow. Yeah. I say all the time, hey, that cover is so impressive, it makes me want to read it. I've tried this series twice and stopped in the same place on Eldest. This is going to make me want to try a third time, and I am. I am going to be trying for a third time. Because when I stopped reading the series, I said it wasn't really anything wrong with the series. It's just bad timing. I think the first time it was just like it wasn't really what I was expecting. The second time, which was when I first started this channel, and I said I was going to try again, I think it was just I got overloaded with so many recommendations because it was right when I started this. And you know how it goes when you run a BookTube channel. You get so many recommendations. And I just said, hey, you know what? I got so much other stuff I want to read. it's happened in 2026. I've been reading out these stunning, stunning editions. And my gosh, thank you so much, Matt and his group over at Broken Binding. You guys are absolutely incredible. Jeff Brown, keep kicking ass, man. You are the best in the game at the moment. And I love what you're doing. Got a couple of things here from some viewers. First up, this is from Darren. This is called The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. This is by Stuart Turton. Sometimes a simple cover just does it. It's all you need. All you need is like some nice gold trim, awesome black, and it looks really, really awesome. I don't really know much about it. He just said he got the impression that I liked a good mystery, so he figured that this would be a nice addition to my ever-growing TBR. Yes, it would. This one is from Susie. This is called The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I've heard of it. I don't know much about it, but I have heard of it. So thank you, Susie. I appreciate that. And I got a mystery box, a mystery package. What do you call it? A mystery box. Mystery package. I've been burning a hole because this really showed up a lot earlier this month. This is from Matilda. And Matilda shipped this all the way from Australia. My gosh, thank you so much. I don't care what it is. It could just be a planner. And I will be very, very excited to see what it is. Send it to me from Australia, because I'm sure the post probably costs more than the book. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yes. Okay, The Elementals, Michael McDowell. I had this in my plans to read this fall. Okay, and I got a note here. I'll read that after the fact. Thank you so much, Matilda. This is great. Yes, I loved Blackwater last year. And then this was the one that a lot of people told me to go to right after I finished Blackwater. Very excited. Man. Thank you so much. This is great. I actually looked for this when I was in Barnes & Noble a couple of weeks ago, and I couldn't find it. So I've just been kind of thinking I might have to settle for the digital version. Wow. Yeah. Awesome. This is happening this fall, guys. Very exciting. I might not get it in for spooky season, but I might get it in just after or just before. Because my spooky season, it's kind of going like 6 to 8 weeks this year. It's been very exciting, and being able to read that is going to be awesome. Thank you again, Matilda. That's awesome. A couple here that showed up with no name. I do love me some Drizzt. So how about a nice visual dictionary to go with that? Look, Drizzt is awesome. ℚ𝕚𝕤𝕤 is amazing. You open it up and you see that. Yeah, it's amazing. It's nice. I don't know how spoilery this is, so I haven't really kind of gotten too deep into it. But I have looked up. God, what was it that there was something that they mentioned in the last Starless Night, in the last Drizzt book I read, and I had no idea what that creature was because I'm not super experienced in Dungeons and Dragons. So I just thought, hey, I'll look it up in there, and I did. But then I saw this picture of ℓ𝕨, and I'm like, well, that's why everybody likes ℓ𝕨, because he looks like a pimp. He looks like a badass. Yeah, so thank you so much for this, whoever did send it. Let me know. It showed up without a note, so let me know if it was you, and I can give you a proper thank you. I got these 3 little mini books here that showed up without a name. This is Snow Business by Philippa Snow. This is How to Build a Universe That Doesn't Fall Apart 2 Days Later, Philip K. Dick. And My Techno-Optimism by Vitalik Buterin. Not sure about that name. I've heard of the book, but I'm not really familiar with the name. These little mini books are just so adorable. Thank you so much. That's really, really cute. And this, lastly, I was a guest over on Thomas R. Howell's channel. If you guys haven't followed Thomas, people tell me all the time, hey, Mike, you're so chill. I love how you run your channel. You guys, I am very, very hyper compared to Thomas, and I mean that in a good way. Thomas is the epitome of read books and chill because the guy is so laid back and calm, and he puts a priority on coffee on his channel. So he did send me some coffee after we talked. Now, what he says about this is because I think he asked me what kind of coffee I like. Now, I was talking about this in-house coffee they make at this grocery store that's local to Texas called ℎEB. And they make this Texas pecan coffee. That's just amazing because pecans are a big deal here in Texas. And he says, Mike, it's no pecan coffee, but it'll go well with any book you're reading. Enjoy. Thomas. So thank you, Thomas. You are the greatest. And it says it is a seasonal blend of ripe plums, almond pastry, and cocoa. That doesn't sound terrible. So this has been over here until I could show it on camera, but I've been very, very anxious to pop this open and try it. So thank you, Thomas. I'll make sure I drop you a nice thank you as soon as I have that first cup. Another thank you, because guys, you want to know how to get to a guy's heart? Send him coffee. That really is it. That is really it. But guys, that's everything for the month of July. Cannot say thank you enough for everything. Guys, if you have any questions about any of these, you want to see anything more, again, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. I do all unboxings and pictures and stuff there. You can see everything. But if there's anything I'm not doing on there that you guys want to see, let me know. We can figure out a way for me to let you see what they look like. You know, do the covers match? Do the spines match? Do they all line up? Are they all the same size? These are important questions to book collectors, I do think. So drop in the comments, guys. Let me know what you got for the month of July. And I will talk to you there.